Hi, I'm Chris Warren, and I want to talk with you about how architecture and the spaces that we inhabit affect the sounds that we hear. You see, sound is energy, so it has no inherent shape. It expands in a sphere outwardly until it hits a barrier and is reflected. So architecture and the spaces we inhabit really, in a very real way, give shapes to the sounds that we hear. You're hearing not just my voice reaching you, but it reflecting off of every surface here. You're hearing every sound that you hear is really a composite of many sounds. All these reflections happen so fast relative to our nervous system that we hear it as a single thing, reverberation. And reverberation is sort of the sonic fingerprint of a space. So we can do this thing called an impulse response. You see, this is an impulse, and what comes back is a response. If we take an impulse response of a space, we know everything we need to do to virtualize it. So I can sit in my bedroom and play acoustic guitar and make it sound like I did it in this wonderful, beautifully balanced concert hall. So I've traveled around North America collecting these, and I've made this library called EchoThief. So I'm going to tell you about a few of the spaces, and afterwards come chat with me, and I'll show you how you can do this at home. So up in Golden Gate Park, there's this beautiful pedestrian tunnel that's famous among local musicians for its just gorgeous, gorgeous acoustics. See all these little inlets? These do a great job of scattering sound. So it gives a nice, warm, rich reverberation. Or in Newton, Massachusetts, this is Echo Bridge. It's a perfect parabola. And paraboloids have the unique acoustic property of retaining energy for an unusually long time, which in this case manifests as 13 discrete echoes. Or Battery Brannan. This is up in the Olympic Peninsula in Washington. This is an abandoned coastal artillery battery with huge flat surfaces of thick concrete built into bedrock, which make chaotic fluttery echoes for days. Morro Castle here, this guards the port of Havana. These 18th century rough walls give this gruff grittiness to reverberation. It's perfect for guitar solos, you know? Sometimes we have smaller rooms. This is the Wagenheim Rare Books room at the old Central Library. It's delicate and quiet because of all the cork flooring, the silk wallpaper, the thick rugs, all these nice absorbent spaces. So not all these spaces are man-made. This is Shasta Lake Caverns, the cathedral room, where row after row of limestone stalactites create a smooth shimmer and deep resonant bass. Or here's another more famous cave, the Bat Cave from the original 1960s TV series. This is up in the Hollywood Hills. It's an abandoned gravel mine. All these piles of gravel make forceful, sharp echoes. It's beautiful. So I went out into the desert to Anza Borrego, and I found this place called the Slot. It's a slot canyon that you have to kind of eke your way through like that, and it's just as dry and claustrophobic as you might imagine. After that, I went to Alaska, climbed under Byron Glacier. All the wet ice, the riverbed, this absorbs sound tremendously, making for something very peaceful and tranquil. Now I understand why Superman has his Fortress of Solitude up there. And right down the street from that, there's a Yupik communal kazgik. This is an underground longhouse made of rough sawn wood, which gives it this intimate, close sound. I really like this one for acoustic guitars. Alaska is actually full of all these big, long metal tunnels that are made of corrugated steel. So each one of these ribs has its own individual echo, and the cumulative effect is this big, rippling zipper sound. One of the longest impulse responses I've captured is this racquetball court. 3 sets of parallel walls in a near-perfect cube create standing waves that last for days. And finally, we have the Old Red Bridge. This is the last covered bridge in Wisconsin, in Cedarburg. My sister showed me this one. This is pine and asphalt, and the result is this very closeness and this sort of wooden sound that's just gorgeous. So let's listen not just to the sounds around us, but the way that architecture and the shapes and materials of the spaces we inhabit affect these sounds. Come talk to me afterwards and I'll show you how you can virtualize these at home. It's super easy. Thanks for listening.